So thank you for this opportunity to present today. This presentation is largely based on my PhD research, and it's also based on the book chapter 7 in the book that was distributed yesterday. It was a joint project of many researchers in this group. As you can see, I'm talking about the political economy of large-scale land acquisition from Egypt's perspective, not necessarily addressing the dynamics between Ethiopia and Sudan, but rather the impact of non-state actors and the investments from an Egyptian point of view. So the presentation overview, I'll just talk a little bit of the conceptual framework, the Nile Basin context, state and non-state actors in the Nile Basin, large-scale land and water investments, implication of scarcity, uncertainty, and water security, concluding notes and perhaps some thoughts on the future research agenda. So to start with, we talk about hydropolitics. Hydropolitics has been always examined from a state-to-state point of view. So what's happening in Egypt, in Ethiopia, what's happening between Ethiopia and Sudan. And this is one of the classic definitions of hydropolitics and how international waters and states interact within this context. What we're saying and what the conceptual contribution I'm trying to make is that I'm saying that hydropolitics actually really goes beyond the state actors. We have non-state actors who are involved in land and water investments, and these guys do have an agency from a constructivist point of view that will affect and do affect transboundary water resources. This is manifested really in state and capital alliances, what we translate, the role of financial resources and how countries really want to attract investments in agriculture, because that's one of the probably laid foundations for economic development. What we've seen, what the evidence we have, and I think a lot of presenters yesterday touched on this, we do have land investments, large-scale agricultural schemes in South Sudan, all really touched on that. Eric yesterday, Sudan, we talked about this, we probably visit that. Ethiopia, I think we also touched on that, and where we have so many other. And actually in Egypt, we do have large-scale land acquisitions. This is a global phenomenon. It's not just confined to the Nile Basin countries. It has been happening in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So the first thing I want to look at really briefly, because I think so many presentations touch on this, but I'm looking at this into like the internal and external drivers of water resources within the Nile Basin. So we have demographic pressures, and you can see here. There's no need to elaborate on that. We all know that population by 2050, these are estimates, but probably perhaps could be higher. Regional food security is a big issue. We talked about it last session. Water scarcity abroad. The water scarcity abroad, I really mean about countries in the Middle East and North Africa region who are suffering from water scarcity. Gulf countries, and this is a main pressure, external pressure element from outside of the basin. Climate change, big debate on that now. And now we do have a big context about Africa's energy initiative, the green transformation in Africa, hydropower, all of that. And then we have the rise of the discourse of the water energy food nexus. Here we talked about water, land, energy nexus. I mean, so you can have so many nexuses, and then this is a question actually that we can further explore in the future research agenda. Another main factors I'm looking at here is the investments, foreign exchange, foreign investors, FDI, and virtual water trade, which was subject of discussion in the last session. So all of these, in my opinion, I think are internal and external pressures within the Nile Basin that do affect land and water investments. So what's the story actually? You know, when we look at, we all talked about the food price shocks 2008, 2011, but really this shows us the huge jump that happened within the 2008. And it just shows us, you know, from 1845, this is really the highest price level. It's a historical event, I think, and it does have huge implications and replications on the demand of food. Hence, on the demand of food, hence the increased trend in land and water investments. This crisis led to temporary export restrictions from food exports such as Argentina, Russia, India, and Vietnam. It affected a lot of food importing countries who felt stuck there and then actually moved into land investments. This is another graph that really shows the fluctuations of the prices, and you can see here. 2008, 2011, nominal and read values. Okay, we talk a lot about investments, you know, and non-state actors, but what kind of investments are these? And we have typology four main types. We have direct investments in foreign lands by sovereign wealth funds. So CLA. We have state-owned enterprises investing in agricultural production in foreign countries. We've seen that in other countries. Government-to-government deals, negotiation directly between two state governments, which is actually something that's happening in Sudan, but also many countries globally. And then we have private sector investment, which is really our focus here. We talk about agribusiness, agri-food, biofuel developers, and private institutional investments, FIs, financial institutions, we talked about this morning. And that's a big thing, really, because financial institutions do see profits, and land and water are actually natural resources that can yield high level of profit. The categories of the private investors, again, so it's not just straightforward, we have so many categories. We have the agribusinesses, agricultural food companies, financial investors, private equity funds, biofuel developers. And the story goes on that actually private investors are not just uniquely moving. I mean, you have a lot of government and private sector support in the home countries. So we have the China Department for International Development really supporting Chinese companies investing abroad, the Qatar National Food Security Program, Abu Dhabi Food Control Authority, etc. These are all state agencies, perhaps not directly intervening in investments, but supporting private sector investments abroad. It's a multi-stakeholder process. It's not just about the host government, or the investor, or the home government. We have local landholders are affected. I think the Madani presentation touched on this yesterday. We have investors, the host government, the role of CSOs, which are actually really heavy on contesting all of these, hence the discourse of the land grabs that we've seen since 2008. Donors are involved, home governments are involved, and financial institutions are in the capital. And then we have the role of the international organizations. So it's really a very complex web. It's not just straightforward between two or three actors. It's a whole network of actions. Okay, I won't read all of that. I'm sorry for the so much text, but I just want to stress here that the path the investors don't see just lands on their own, because if you have a land without water, the land is useless. So the land grabs and the land acquisitions are just important with the water. So water really plays a crucial factor when we talk about land investments. And so what we've seen since 2008, and what we learned here, and that's new terminology, water grabbing. Water grabbing, which means that there are new capitalist players, given the market economy dynamic we're working on, and actors involved in water resources and the rise of the new political and economic relations. But again, land grabs and large-scale land acquisitions were not just straightforward. We do have a lot to think about that, we need to think about it. We touched on some of these yesterday. They're not just, I mean, the acquisitions, they can happen based on rainfall, based on surface water, based on underground water, based on clean water. We have elements such as technology, environmental footprints, that are influenced by these large-scale investments. There's a lot of critiques that the civil society organizations and these movements exaggerated a lot of the land size and the land investments. Hence my question to all yesterday about how much of these investments actually materialize. So this is a critical thought we need to think about. Which comes to the next point, that not all of these investments unfolded as expected. And this is actually due not just for land and water issues, but we have so many other political economy factors related to infrastructure, dams, the roads, the ports, access to electricity, which actually I talked about in the plan represented here. Investment climate for the country in general, how are they actually attracting foreign investors or not. So these are all elements that need to be taken into consideration when we talk about land and water investments. So it's not just straightforward resource question, it's more Now, when we talked about Sudan, there are three dams. I'm not going to elaborate on that. There are potential for new dams, hence the question of, okay, what happens if new dams are developed? Is this going to increase water resources? Is this going to develop more agricultural schemes? So this is also something to be considered about. And the quota of Sudan, what's using now and what's remaining, with all these investments, how are they going to actually do more water than the quota of water? Examples of non-state actors' investments. Related to the George capital with 20,000 acres in Ethiopia and Bella. We know about that. Ethiopia as well. Karatuli in Ethiopia, but Karatuli exited in Ethiopia because of the flooding. And so that's also something that we need to think about. That climate change can affect some of these. Private equity funds like Monsoon Capital and Boston Beach Sandstone Capital. Actually, and there's also Egyptian investors considered capital as well. So, when I was looking into Sudan and the potential of large-scale investments in Sudan, I looked actually at the Ministry of Investment, what the Ministry of Investment is offering in terms of land. So that's the supply side of demand and supply side of land. And the report of the Ministry of Investment stated several states and then potential areas that could actually serve for large-scale investments. Also, this is affected by several political economic factors. Post-2011, agriculture became more important because oil became a less of a reliable source of income. Improved hydro infrastructure by advanced by China and others. It's not a secret Sudan has big ambitions in economic plan to develop large-scale agricultural investments. That has been stated, obviously. And the fact, the external factor that you have a lot of these large-scale agricultural investments have the involvement of Arab countries, like investors from Arab countries like the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, but also you have a lot of the local investments in Sudan that have a lot of potential. Okay, this is more of the examples we talked about. And then when we talk about, I'm going to focus on that now, the cooperation between the countries. President Bashir came to Egypt in the Economic Development Conference and he said, okay, Sudan has the land, Egypt has the agricultural experience, the Arab countries have the financing, we can actually make something out of this. And that's actually a manifestation of how Sudan is actually getting involved in open large land acquisitions. There's also something very important. I mean, this conference I attended a few months ago, that the Gulf Nile Cooperation Council, and that was, Mesa was directly involved, and it shows that there are alliances being created, perhaps on a state level, but they will involve non-state actors, and that's one of the things we have to look at. That's another type of alliance, China's role at the Nile Basin countries, and China with the Nile Basin Initiative. In September 2012, I think there is a memorandum of understanding signed between NDI and the government of China. The Chinese are actually coming into African countries and investing heavily, and we need to look into the implications of this on land and all the investments. So, I mean, out of all of this, what do we have implications? I mean, in my personal view, I think we have a high level of uncertainty associated with these large-scale land acquisition and land investments. On the local scale, with the farmers, with the small producers, with the middle-sized farmers, how are these investments going to affect them? Are they going to be positive or negative? On the national scale, how we relate that to water security, investment financing, virtual water trade and food security? What's the national interest of the governments? On the transboundary scale, the implications of these investments upstream, downstream. So in this case, perhaps we look at the growing of these investments in Sudan and how would they actually have an implication on Egypt. Would that mean more cooperation if we have inter-basin trade? Or would that mean more conflict and more hyper-political tensions? These are all, and my time is up, but I mean, these are just, we want to say that the materialization of these investments is not straightforward again. We have so many hurdles and so many obstacles, so we have to observe these and only not to exaggerate. Illegal issues, political and economic stability, fees and taxes, corruption in some places, land allocation to tenure. So what I'm saying is that we have issues of certainty, security on multiple scales, and we need to look into that and how water scarcity plays into this whole context. So my conclusion, there's a changing hydropolitical landscape. State actors, non-state actors, the external investments, including infrastructure like dams and also large-scale agricultural schemes. There is a regional and global race towards water security, for food security. There is an increased competition over natural resources using capital and financial, hence financial resources, hence financialization and commodification of nature, because all of this translates into trade and money. There's high level of uncertainty on what to stage, as we discussed. We need to think about how does this define or redefine the question of water security. The role of infrastructure is a crucial one, and water access is also a main element. We need to think more about the implication of this on transboundary security. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.